What up, everybody? Ace here with the Triple Threat Podcast. Back at it again. So to my left, I got leader of the flock. Say what up, flock.
Do you believe in magic?
Okay then. And my other co-host, I got Siggy Guns. Say what up.
What up? What up?
And our special guest, but not really special because he's always on here. We got UTXJG the Don. Say what up to the people.
I'm just happy that basketball is back. I felt empty for a whole week. Couldn't look
right.
at numbers.
It felt a long time, right? Like it was a long break.
Nails. It was from Thursday to Thursday.
Right. Especially with the fantasy. I was like, at first, I thought that at the end of, I think it was like, what? Wednesday was the last game for everybody pretty much?
Well, I had a Thursday game just because
you did?
Celtics, but yeah.
See, I had a Wednesday game, so I was thinking, oh shit, I think I'm gonna lose. So I thought I was gonna lose, but hey, we got a few more days added to it.
Yeah, it spans over to this week, so it's cool.
So at the time of this recording, I know you guys are all seeing the NBA news, rumors, and everything like that with the trade deadline. So we're gonna probably just strictly talk about NBA. And before we start talking about the NBA, I wanted to shout out my alma mater. Shout out to Syracuse University beating Duke University yesterday in the last second shot.
That was a good game.
I see.
That
was a great game. Anytime seeing Coach Boeheim and Coach K in the Carrier Dome is always an experience for sure. And that's some type of games that get me excited for March Madness, baby. But let's go ahead and talking about NBA. Now, y'all expect me to start talking about the Lakers first, but we can't talk about that first. First thing we're going to talk about is DeMarcus Cousins going over to the Pelicans. So I'm going to actually start with JG on this one. What you think about DeMarcus Cousins leaving, being traded from the Sacramento Kings?
Let's talk about who he got traded for and everything. Who did he get traded for?
So looks like the Kings ended up trading DeMarcus Cousins and Army Caspi, excuse me, for Tariq Evans, Buddy Hield, Langston Galloway, and a protected first round pick. Now, do you guys feel like that was a good trade, or who won in this trade here?
I don't want to start off and say that Vlade Divac is an idiot.
True.
And the Kings organization as a whole is terrible.
This is
true.
true.
This has been going on for years. I mean, just think on one hand, like what that team could have been if the Kings would have kept their picks. You would have had DeMarcus Cousins. You would have had Hassan Whiteside. You would have had Isaiah Thomas in his fucking prime. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a travesty what Vlade Divac is doing. I actually used to love this team too. And my brother Drew, he's like went absolutely insane when we saw that pick happening. We saw the rumor, and then literally like a minute later that it happened. It's been absolutely atrocious what's been going on with that organization. Obviously, we know no matter how much they try to hide it, DeMarcus Cousins has been a problem with them. It's most likely been his attitude, because it definitely hasn't been his play minus his technicals. So with that being said, again, Vlade Divac is an idiot. I don't think he knows what he's doing at all. And on top of that, to add insult to injury, the man said that they had a better offer 2 days ago. I don't know what that offer was.
Yeah, fam, I kind of want to know what that offer was. I want to know what it is.
You know what it was, Siggy?
I'm telling you what that offer was. Apparently, it was the Celtics offering their Nets picks on top of their first round pick with Crowder. That's the rumor that it could have been.
Okay.
And this is something that they've been dangling around, trying to get Paul George and Butler also. But for some reason, I think we'll talk about it later on when it comes to losers and stuff like that of the trade deadline. But yeah, I think the Kings made a horrible mistake. Everybody started jumping on them in regards to the jokes. I like that Isaiah Thomas came out and said you couldn't even make this deal in 2K. And
right. Yeah, it's like a Boehead trade.
The Kings are happy about Buddy. They think he's going to be something special, but he just hasn't shown it. And maybe with a lot of playing time, he could develop into something. But on paper, man, it just looks like a bad deal. It really does. I mean, it was horrible. But then again, at the same time, they couldn't just let him walk. I know that they were going to give him the max, and he probably would have taken it, Cousins. But you really wanted to have that headache for 5 years.
I mean, he said he wanted to stay. So
well, I mean, $200 million, you're going to stay.
No right, of course. You get that max contract, why not?
Yeah.
And even funnier thing that did the better offer 2 days ago. The Kings actually got rid of Tyreek Evans. They got him back. Like, what is going on? What is going on here with the Kings, fam? Like, the Kings are absolutely ridiculous. I really hope that Buddy Hield pans out because I understand that they did want him last year and they missed out on him. And then y'all picked somebody, then gave him away immediately. So obviously y'all didn't care about whatever other pick that y'all are going to have. So I mean, it is what it is. The Kings have been rebuilding for years. And I guess everybody that they've been trying to build around DeMarcus Cousins hasn't worked. And on top of his attitude, I guess they just felt like they had to let him go. So, I mean, it is what it is. But the Pelicans definitely panned out better in this situation for sure.
What do you think about that, Flock? You haven't really said much. I haven't heard you. So what's up? What do you think?
This with Cousins, I mean, a lot of people jumped on the Kings saying, it was a stupid pick. I mean, it was a stupid trade and all this. I'll say why it was a dumb move and why it was actually the move they had to make. You brought up, Siggy brought up how much he could make. He could be potentially a $200 million player for that 5 years because the cap is going up. But if you're the Kings, you got to look at it like, do we want that $200 million headache? Is DeMarcus Cousins the dude that you want to have? And they going on record by saying that players didn't want to come there because of him, because a lot of his former teammates said they didn't like playing with him because he's a big distraction. He kind of drains the life out of the team with his antics. They said off the court he's a good dude and he seemed like a cool dude, but when he gets on the court he just, I don't know. So for them to like you said, get Tyreek Evans back, who hasn't played a full season, I don't think, but maybe one season in his career. He's injury prone. Buddy Hield, who hasn't done much of anything. I mean, he's gonna be kind of like how Ben Gordon used to be. He got the potential to be like kind of like that, but he hasn't shown that. Langston Galloway, who they're gonna end up waiving, and then they got a protected. They didn't even get a regular first round pick. They got a protected pick. So you basically gave away your best player. And I know a lot of people think, okay, well, if you pay $1 million for your house, your house, that don't mean your house worth $1 million. Your house is only worth what somebody's willing to give you for it. So DeMarcus Cousins obviously wasn't worth a lot to a lot of different teams as much as they, as much as the Kings thought he was worth, because not a lot of teams were willing to take that bait. And then you had his agent going on record telling people, yo, don't trade for him. He's not going to re-sign with you. I mean, that scares teams away too. Like, we're not going to give away all these good players and these picks, and this guy's going to be gone after next season. We're not going to rent him for a year and a season and a quarter. So
I'm glad you actually brought that up too.
Worried about right now.
Yep, that's it. I mean, when it comes to DeMarcus Cousins, overall, I think he is a good player. I mean, yeah, he definitely does have an attitude issue. That's for sure. So sometimes, I mean, not even sometimes, it's just typically hard to build around him. And as you guys have said and stated before, that, yeah, with the salary cap going up, I mean, he can be a very valuable player, but he can also be very cost efficient for a lot of other teams. So I think it was a stupid move on the Kings' part, but I mean, I guess we're going to have to wait to see how it pans out. And I mean, we can't act like DeMarcus Cousins doesn't have an on-court attitude problem. I mean, I believe he's like second in the league for technical fouls, I believe.
Like Draymond Green fighting for the number one spot, baby.
Exactly. But you know what, though? I am interested to see what him and the Pelicans can do. And apparently, I guess, I believe the Brow himself posted a picture of him and DeMarcus Cousins talking about they fire and ice now, some shit. So I'm actually kind of psyched to see how well they do with each other and everything like that. And you never know, DeMarcus Cousins may rock.
Well, right now it looks like trash. If right now the game is going on,
they got
the destroying them.
Yeah, they getting their ass beat right now. As a matter of fact, they got the potential. They got the potential to do what nobody's done since Duncan and Robinson. So they have the potential to do it. But then again, you got to think of my thing is personality. Like, it's not always about your talent. Your talent doesn't always, transpire into your play. I mean, sometimes you have players that have had problems in certain places. I mean, look at Dennis Rodman in San Antonio. Hell, you can go further back. Dennis Johnson in Seattle. Dennis Johnson went to the Celtics and won championships. So same thing with Rodman. He came to the Bulls and won championships. So sometimes it's better, it depends on where you are. I mean, so hopefully with him, man, he's got time to do it. But I mean, he's been in the league, 6 years now? And if he's not making his teammates better, then I can't altogether blame Sacramento for parting ways with him. And they just got to rebuild without all the nonsense that comes with him. But he is the best big man in the league. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Well, I mean, we'll see how it pans out, and we'll see if he ends up staying with the Pelicans. But the next topic I want to talk about with you guys is the Lakers. Now, we're going to talk about it later down, too. But for as of right now, so the Lakers ended up trading Lou Williams to the Rockets for Corey Brewer and a first-round pick. Now, I'll speak about this briefly just because I don't necessarily think this was a great choice because Lou Will is our points off the bench. Yes, we
hold on. Before you dig yourself too deep, this is why they made this move. I'm about to tell you why they made this move because you're speaking like a fan that want to see the team be good. This is why they made this move. The Lakers made this move. Lou Williams was winning games for them. He was their top scorer.
You're right.
They have a pick that if it's not in the top 3, it goes to the 76ers. So if they keep winning, the odds of them getting that pick goes where? Nowhere. Right. Yeah. So that's why they made that move. So they still getting a first round pick back, but it's not gonna be. They're doing that just in case. But I mean, it's gonna be a late first round pick from the Rockets because the Rockets gonna end up with the 26th pick or something like that, 20th pick or something like that. So
most likely
they're gonna end up around that area. So they're just trying to make sure they get something. But out of that, they putting the guy on a team that has a chance to win. So they kind of did him a favor.
Absolutely.
And so that's why they're doing it because they don't want to win right now. If they keep winning right now, then they're gonna lose that pick. So that's why they made that move.
Yeah, like I said, I actually was going to lead to this point, but you're absolutely right. I mean, yes, as a fan, I want us to win, but when it comes to just thinking overall about the game and about the business for the Lakers organization, no, we don't want to continue winning at this point because we're not getting to the playoffs. Absolutely. So now we got to start focusing on the offseason for the NBA draft coming up, for the potential college picks and everything along those lines, veterans that we can sign after the end of the season, everything along those lines. So the trade makes sense, but I mean, at the end of the day, Houston definitely won with this pick. Now, I want to bring this point up real quick, and we will talk about this later, but Magic Johnson being his first issue, the reason why, and I want to quote him, the reason why he wanted to do this is because, and I quote, "This trade allows us to continue on the path of building something special while maintaining a future flexibility within the organization. Additionally, Corey is a proven veteran that will make a positive impact on our team right away." So, layman's terms, yeah, he's saying that they want to be able to have as much flexibility as possible when it comes to the roster next year. So, I mean, I like Lou Will a lot, and I think he's going to be very successful with the Houston Rockets. And I mean, they just added another shooter, which is going to make Houston dangerous. And I understand the Lakers are still under a rebuilding phase and everything along those lines. But, sacrifices have to be made, and I mean, the only thing we can go is up from here, honestly. So, but you guys can take it. Lou
Williams right now on the Rockets tonight has been doing pretty good. I mean, this was an awesome trade for the Rockets. And
it was an awesome trade for him too.
Flock touched up on it. They gave up nothing. I mean, that first round pick is essentially just a second rounder with them.
Yeah.
So to get somebody like Lou Williams with the pick, let's say it was the draft right now, you're hoping for somebody like Lou Williams in that pick anyways, you know what I mean? So they got that, up front pretty much. So it was great for them. For the Lakers, the reason why we were clowning on it is because the Lakers had all these ambitions. Everybody knows that whenever it comes to trade deadlines, every Laker fan out there thinks they're going to get the Jimmy Butler or the Paul George. They were drooling for these players. And then you wind up getting rid of Lou Williams for Corey Brewer. That's what makes it funny. It's because here you are, all these Laker fans thinking they're going to get these great players, and then you get a Corey Brewer, which nobody wanted. That's what makes all the other fans laugh at the Laker fans, because It's kind of like the Knicks. At least the Knicks wound up not trading anybody. But if they would have gone through with the rumors that they were going to trade Derrick Rose, everybody would have laughed at the Knicks because they're pretty much saying we're waving the white flag. So the Knicks are in a position where they can't really tank. So that's the reason why it made sense for them not to do it. But the Lakers, I do agree with Flock too. Though. In the end, they have no choice but to tank. Even though their record is not as bad as what some of the other teams are, they're still third right now, right? 19 wins is third worst. The first is worse is Brooklyn at 9 wins. So you're not going to catch up to them.
Jesus Christ.
18 for Phoenix, right? So they just need to make sure that they fall below Phoenix or stay in that level. But then again, there's a lot of teams now that have a chance of tanking. It looks like another team that we're going to be talking about more that should tank is the Mavericks, etc. So there's going to be a lot of competition for that 3 spots. So it could be that first round pick that's just the protection that Flock was talking about. But they might lose that protected, first 3 because there's a lot of teams that might be tanking the rest of the way now.
Gotcha. What about you, JG? You ain't really saying much.
I'm not a Lakers fan by any means, but logically, when I saw this, it didn't make it a Lakers fan. Like, I understand you want to take, but just the reason why, because Lou Williams is winning you games, and the point is to win games. That just sounded so hilarious to me. And Lou Williams is coming off your bench, and he's like, he's just score.
Yeah, that's just funny.
That's why I said that. That's what I thought about. I thought about Ben Gordon again when we was thinking about that, because I remember when Ben Gordon was the leading scorer for the Bulls, like in 07, 06, 07 or something like that, and he was coming off the bench. It was just instant offense.
Right. Like, it's just funny. They're winning too many games. Like, so why couldn't you be like, all right, well, Lou, we just go limit your minutes or something, or don't shoot the ball so much, Lou. You winning too much. You know what I mean?
He was balling for him too.
Right. Absolutely. He was playing his heart out.
Right. So again, logically, it doesn't make sense, but realistically, yes, we know why. We know why they made that pick. But it's just funny because you traded him to Houston of all teams. Lou Williams is a pure shooter, bruh. They just got another shooter on their roster. Shit's about to be crazy. And Corey Brewer, right now, of course, Corey Brewer, he's ass. He's absolutely terrible. A couple years ago, it would have been a different story. But now, he can show him for himself.
Look, check out the Rockets bench right now. Check out the Rockets bench right now. Eric Gordon, Lou Williams, Clint Capella, Sam Decker, and Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah,
I mean that's a stud. I mean,
bro, and you got Nene, fam, and you got Nene.
Yeah, right, man, that's ridiculous.
Houston is locked and loaded. Yeah. Bro, last time I looked at the score of the Pelicans, it was 67 to 100.
They still ain't got no defense though. So
yeah, they got shooters, but they ain't got no defense.
Fill it up
for sure.
Right, you already know that D'Antoni.
Typical D'Antoni.
Yeah, typical D'Antoni.
He trying to turn them to the 06 Phoenix Suns.
You already know, bro. You already know. That's exactly why he made Harden the point guard in this case. I'm just glad they didn't give away Patrick Beverley, because that would have been stupid. They need Patrick, so I'm glad that they ended up giving away Corey. But it is what it is. Lakers want to rebuild, so we will see what they do in the draft.
Want to rebuild? We've been trying to rebuild for like the past 3 or 4 years.
Bro, y'all on your 4th year. So.
Yeah, we're on our 4th year of rebuilding.
Trust the process.
Yeah, man. We'll talk more about the Lakers a little bit later, but let's talk about the 76ers. So the 76ers ended up trading Nerlens Noel to the Mavericks for Andrew Bogut, Justin Anderson, and a protected first-round pick. Since we talking about the Mavericks, Siggy, what do you think of them? What do you think of that trade? You think it was a smart trade?
Excellent trade for the Mavericks. One, it's a protected first-round pick. 1 through 18 protection.
Oh my God.
Which we know the Mavs are probably going to get. Top 5, top 6. I mean, they're a lottery. I mean,
man,
the fact that they were able to get Noel and they're basically staying with their first round, it turns into a second-round pick. So in the end, they traded basically Justin Anderson. Bogut wasn't doing anything for the Mavs. He was always hurt. So they traded Anderson, which has some promise, don't get me wrong, for in a second round, essentially, because it's going to turn into that, for Noel, which is actually very good for the 76ers whenever he does play. I mean, let's face it, the Sixers drafted 3 centers in a row, and they weren't going to play them all the time. It just so happened
all 3 of them always hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. They needed them in the end because one of them was hurt, one of them was hurt here, one of them was hurt there. But the Sixers, I think, got ripped off, and it was just kind of amazing to see that the Mavs were able to do that, because usually the Mavs are the ones that are always getting ripped off. Bogut, I think they're going to waive the Sixers, which is already rumors that he's going to go to either Rockets or the.
They were trying to find a spot to trade him too. Soon as they got him, but nobody took him.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and they're looking to waive him. Pretty sure.
So in the end, they're only going to end up with Anderson and a second-round pick. I mean, we over here making fun of the Kings. I think that's a laughable trade for the Sixers because they're already in a bad spot. So it's not like they can tank any more than they can. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know why they weren't made fun of more than what the Kings were made fun of.
I feel like this one was under the radar.
Yeah, I'm about to say it wasn't as big a high profile of a player.
Yeah,
that's why.
I mean, Andrew Bogut was already.
Too, you can't laugh, and this is like kicking a dead horse too.
Yeah, Noel was kicking. He was kicking and screaming to get out of there anyway. So
he's been going to leave there for a while now.
Yeah, Nerlens wasn't happy. Andrew Bogut wasn't happy either. He didn't like being on the Mavericks, so he already expressed his frustration. Plus, he got hurt, so it didn't make it any better. I mean, why would you want to get traded from a team last year you lost the championship, but when you won the previous year, you don't want to leave that team necessarily. So I mean, it ended up happening. You came in a package deal with Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is doing amazing. You're not. So he didn't like being there. So I understand why they made this trade. I do agree with Siggy that this was a great trade for the Mavericks. Terrible for the 76ers, but again, they had to let him go too. So you can't have those three centers, especially with Embiid. Finally, when he gets to play, he ends up being y'all best source of offense when he does play, and he's on restricted minutes too. So that's just simply amazing when he's healthy. So like I said, we'll see what the Mavericks end up doing, but they're probably going to end up taking two because I don't think they're going to make any moves either. Is it like the West? If you look at the bottom eight in the West, like it's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like everybody sucks pretty much. So why not just take? Everybody should just take, and this is going to be a free for all. So you go get the top three picks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're all right there. Everybody. I mean, New Orleans, Dallas. I mean, obviously the Pelicans are going for the playoffs. I mean, I think they pretty much addressed it that they're saying, hey, we're going for it all. But the Kings, which actually have a better record than the Pelicans, they're tanking. Now,
yeah,
Lakers,
they were ninth.
Phoenix, yeah,
they
Lakers,
were ninth before
Phoenix,
the trade.
Mavs, Denver, Portland, Minnesota. I mean, that's a lot of competition for the 2, 3, 4 spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, at the end of the day, one of them are gonna definitely be able to get that number 1, 2, and 3 spot. We'll see. The West is just it's ridiculous. Y'all got anything else about that topic? Y'all want to go ahead and move on?
Let's move on. We got a lot of trades.
Yeah, so speaking of the 76ers also traded Ersan, and I'm gonna butcher this last name.
Ilyasova.
Yeah. Thank you. To the Hawks for Thiago Spiller and a protected
Thiago Spiller.
Thank you, sir. So all right.
I got this, man. This like reading for the kid that can't read good in class. He got traded to the Hawks for Thiago Splitter to protect the 2017's second round pick and a swap rights with another second round pick. There we go.
Yeah. You're not about to play me. Ersan is a Turkish player. Okay, thank you very much. But anyways,
how can we say left, baby?
You know where he's from, but you can't spell it. You can't read his name.
You got it. You know what? Since you want to talk so much, Flock, you tell me what you think about this trade.
Pass. It's on Siggy.
Actually, this actually was a good trade for the Sixers here because unlike the Mavericks trade where they just pretty much got a second round and Anderson in the end, this one they got a bunch of picks out of it. And considering that they got him for what was it? Was it a 3-team trade with the Magic and all that? How he landed there in the first place? I forgot what it was.
Where did he come from? He came from the Spurs.
Was it the Spurs? I thought he was a Magic.
Yeah, Thiago came from the Spurs.
No, Thiago did. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Ersan. Anyways, the Sixers getting a bunch of picks for somebody that they really got for nothing last time is pretty good. It makes up for the funniness of the Noel trade. So I think for the Sixers, this is a really good deal. Obviously, another sign that they're going to be trying to tank again. I mean, the Sixers always tank. I mean, it always seems like every draft they have a top 3 pick, right? So now they got a whole bunch of picks in the second round also just to add to their collection of first round picks. So, but in the end, I think this was a good trade for the Sixers.
It's funny because I didn't even know Thiago Splitter was still on his team. Like, he became instantly irrelevant once they got Dwight Howard. So I was like, oh, Thiago, he still plays for the Hawks. Amazing.
He was relevant once he left the Spurs.
He really was. He really was. They were looking for a good center. And Thiago, like, he just didn't work with that system. He didn't work with the Hawks system. I mean, when you have freaking Paul Millsap and Al Horford on the same squad, what are you going to do there? You can't do anything. So, yeah, I understand why they made this trade. Definitely better for the 76ers in the situation. Well, I don't know. I actually like Ilyasova. Ilyasova actually has been producing, especially when the bigs are all hurt. Ilyasova actually puts in work, or at least fantasy-wise he does. But the 76ers just suck overall. So, like, I feel like he kind of goes under the radar in most situations here. So, I would still say for what the 76ers are actually getting, it's a better trade for them. But it's like you get another center, though, so that still doesn't make it.
Oh, you know they're going to waive Splitter.
Right, so, like, yeah, so it's like, what are you going to do with him, waive him? It just sucks. It sucks getting traded and then waived. But it's a business, right?
You know, he'll probably go right back to Atlanta.
That'd be crazy if he did. Well, you just gonna be sitting there still, even with having no Al Horford. It's just like he's
gonna be the tall boy for her son.
Oh my god, that's tragic. All right, did you have anything else you want to say about this one, Flood?
Not at all. We can move on to the next one.
Move on.
Please let me hear you do this. I'm not gonna help you on this one.
No, I got it. Say
no. I'm talking about old boy.
Oh no, he
Ace.
Oh, he left
for a second, yeah. And he said he got the dog barking in the background.
All right, go for it, JG.
All right, so
you're gonna save it with the name, huh?
So now moving on to the Nets, which
that's
the worst of the
that's why the dog barking, because he knew he couldn't read this fucking name. Lying ass nigga.
Oh my god. But in any case, so the Nets, they end up trading Bojan Bogdanovic, Chris McCullough to the Wizards for Marcus Thornton, Andrew Nicholson, and a lottery protected 2017 second round pick. So, Fly, what do you think about the Nets making a move? Because I actually didn't think they were going to do anything at this point, but they ended up at least doing something.
I mean,
another tank job.
The Nets are terrible, man.
They still have like only 8 games won, like 8.
9.
Oh, the 9 now. Okay, 9
now.
They
won 9 games. I mean, it's huge for the Wizards.
Yep,
I'll say that it's huge for the Wizards. I mean, the Nets keep getting, they getting younger players and all this other. They getting Marcus Thornton not that young, but Andrew Nicholson, he's just been around. I mean, when he was, they had high hopes for him in Orlando. He hasn't done anything, so. I don't know. The Nets, man. The Nets are being the Nets. That's all I'm gonna say. They just keep being the Nets, man. They make some suspect moves. I mean, hence the reason why they don't have first round draft picks, the next couple years. They didn't protect any of those picks from that Paul Pierce and KG trade years ago, man. That's still baffling to me that they let the Celtics hold on to that. And the Celtics is just like dangling that pick around for people trying to get right now, which could be potentially a top 2 or 3 pick. So, man, the Nets
number one. There's no way they're gonna blow a 10 game lead right now with that number 1 pick.
Yeah, but we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen before. I mean, you got to think about when the Bulls got the number 1 pick. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
So,
I forget. I keep forgetting about the lottery.
Yeah, it's a lottery, so it can't happen.
That bounce of the ball, yo.
And 9 times out of 10, the team with the worst record doesn't always get the first pick either. So
that's true.
So I mean, it could go either way. So I mean, with the Nets though, I just think that it is what it is. They ain't gonna get no better. They ain't going nowhere for a long time, fam. So they just get your popcorn ready.
Here you go, JG. Another case of the bench player scoring more than any of the starters.
Bojan Bogdanovic is the greatest scorer off the bench. I know because I got him.
Yeah. That's what I said. That's huge for the Wizards because they need that. I mean, you got Otto Porter, who's right down the street from grew up right down the street from where a lot of my family stay in Sikeston, Missouri. He's playing out of his mind right now. That dude is shooting the ball like crazy.
Yeah, they're doing real good.
Yeah,
that makes
the Wizards is like one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
Yep.
You gotta think this time in what was it, December? They were like at the bottom. I remember TBH making jokes about the Wizards, and I kept saying, I'm like, man, they might turn it around, man. They might turn around. They'd be doing better than the Bulls. He's like, oh, no, I don't know. I'm like, bruh, they might turn it around, and shit. I ain't think they're going to turn around like this, but the Wizards are really good right now.
Gortat turned into a double-double machine. You have Bradley Beal fully healthy, and you have Otto Porter playing great right now. Oh, and Markieff. Yeah, let's not forget about Markieff. Oh my goodness, yo, Markieff is amazing right now.
Hey, and we're forgetting about Gortat. Gortat actually is
Gortat's a double-double machine right now. So overall, their starting five is great. So to just have Bohan coming off the bench, that's about to be amazing. Cause honestly, the Wizards bench is kind of trash right now. I was even playing it on 2K. I was like, who are these niggas? I don't even know who half of the bench was. So having Bogdanovic is great for the Wizards. So the Wizards definitely won. I actually remember the Nets were talking about shopping Brook Lopez too, but obviously that didn't happen.
Man.
Yeah, this clearly was a tank job. Same thing with the Lakers. The Nets already control their destiny for the most ping pong balls for the lottery. So this is just another way to make sure they get it.
But they don't get it though. That's what I'm saying. They don't get it. Right. That pick goes to Boston. That's what I said earlier.
So
that's what I said earlier. They made that trade years ago.
That's right. No, I keep forgetting
and none
about
of those picks are protected. Yeah, that pick goes outright to Boston. That's why I say, who would make such a trade? Once those players leave, your team is going to be trash. That's why whoever Danny Ainge get the fucking Brainiac Award from me, because he's like, yo, we don't want these next couple years pick. I want these picks down the line. You know what I'm saying? When he know them guys going to be gone and that team is going to be trash. So
now it's time to cash in.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Wow. So the Nets are pretty much helping the Celtics for sure. which makes it even more baffling that the Celtics didn't use that to their to their advantage. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's crazy that out of all the teams that didn't make a trade, the Celtics could have easily just dangled that number one pick, potential number one overall, and didn't get anything out of it. Crazy.
I'll talk about that later. I'm gonna tell you why they didn't. I'll tell you why.
We know. I know why. Well, at least for Paul George's case, we know why. At least we think we know why with the Lakers and stuff.
I know exactly why. But let's move away from the Nets. It ain't really much to talk about them. They terrible. They're gonna suck regardless of what trades they made.
All right, HE back.
Yeah, I'm back, and I'm not a liar. Thank you, sir. My parents is leaving, so my dog started barking very much. Thank you very much. But anyways, since y'all talked about the
stop line.
Yeah, fuck out of here. So anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and move forward. So, since you want to talk, you can talk about this next topic. So the Bulls end up sending Taj Gibson for Doug McDermott for 2018 second round pick to the Thunder for Cameron Payne, for Jofi Levine, and for Anthony Morrow. Now I will say, right off the bat, what good is Cameron Payne done this season really besides dancing? That's just to keep it real. I felt like he shouldn't even been part of that. It's just kind of whatever. If anything, I don't know. I wouldn't think that Taj Gibson would go over to the Thunder either, to be honest with you. But what do you think about this shit, Flock?
Bulls, y'all. When does it ever make sense? Now, the Taj Gibson moving him, believe it or not, I'm a Taj Gibson fan, but it makes sense. He's a free agent after this season. They were top heavy at the power forward position anyway, and this gives them a chance to see what's that dude name look like? Nomad Bobby Portis. Give Bobby Portis some run out there because he wasn't playing that much. Only thing I would say is if they were going to trade Taj, I would have loved to see them get rid of Mirovic. Yes, I said Mirovic. I know his name is Mirovic, but I call him Mirovic. I would have loved to see them get rid of him. Doug McDermott, I don't know if I would have given up on him so soon because he is a shooter.
Some flashes lately.
Yeah, he's shown that he can play given the right circumstance. He just he don't play good when Jimmy Butler's out there because Jimmy Butler commands the ball so much. So when he's out there with the second unit and whatnot, and Butler's on the bench, that's when he plays good. It's just a matter, him being out there playing with the right people. That pick, they didn't get anything to me in return, like you said. Cameron Payne, I mean, seeing him over there on the sideline dance with Russell Westbrook, I'm not impressed. I've never really seen him do anything. I seen him when they played OKC, and he had more turnovers than he had points and assists combined. So Laverne, he's just about his fourth team, and everybody keeps saying, he's got potential. They got hopes for him, but I mean, if everybody's trading you, I mean, some must not be right. Anthony Morrow is like an older version of McDermott. Just stand out there and shoot. But the thing is, he ain't been knocking down shots this year. He hasn't been good since he was with Golden State, to be honest with you. He was okay with the Nets, I believe, for a minute, but he hasn't really been doing anything the last couple seasons. So I hated to see Tyus go, but my thing is, if you're gonna get rid of some players, get rid of all of them. Like now they got like 4 point guards on the team. And it's like, okay, so now what you gonna do? Yeah, it's like, now what? Cameron Payne's gonna be like the third string point guard. Well, he'd probably be the third string point guard. But I mean, you don't know that because he was playing behind Russell Westbrook. So you gotta give him a chance, to actually get out there and play to see what he's gonna do. You think he'll
contribute?
I mean, I'll give you a prime example. What's buddy name play for the fucking Sacramento Kings right now?
Collison.
Darren Collison. He was Chris Paul's backup in New Orleans years ago, and he didn't really do much. But when he got hurt, Collison stepped up and was balling, and he cashed in on that. So you never know, man. Sometimes some players just need to get that time to actually go out there and not worry about making mistakes and say, if I make a mistake, he's gonna sit me down or something like that. So they play kind of cautious. So I feel like they should have done more. The Bulls are like, don't just cut part of it. You might as well blow the whole damn team up. You're not gonna go anywhere.
You feel like they should have got rid of him earlier, like before this season?
No.
Okay.
They did exactly what they, like I said, I would have liked to see Mirotic go because Mirotic is done after the season anyway. Yeah. So his contract is up after the season anyway. I'm a big fan of saying, yo, get something for him. Don't just let him walk for nothing. Somebody out there take him. Hell, New Jersey take anybody. You could have traded him to the Nets. They like giving away picks.
They're in Brooklyn, by the way, but you got it.
I said the Nets.
You said New Jersey first.
Oh, I did? Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I never forget that they was in New Jersey. My bad. I said New Jersey.
I
mean, they probably ain't had a first round pick since they was in New Jersey either. So that's probably why I said my bad, Brooklyn.
True, you get it. You got it.
Yeah, that's all I got about that though, man. The Bulls, they get rid of this front office, yo. They are horrible. Paxson and Gar Foreman, they terrible.
I feel you, JG. You even care about the trade at all? Whatever. What you think?
Yeah, I don't want to say a couple things. I mean, the Thunder obviously needed a forward center flex with Todd Gibson since Enes Kanter got hurt by hurting himself, self-inflicted wounds.
Stupid.
So I understand why the Thunder made that move. It's great for them. Doug McDermott also gives you another shooter because honestly, like besides Westbrook, who was really shooting out there for the Thunder? Really nobody. So I like both of these picks make perfect sense for the Thunder to get. As far as the Bulls on their side, looking at I don't even know who Joffrey is, so I don't remember ever seeing him play. I know who Anthony Morrow is, but Anthony Morrow hasn't been getting that tick, and like Flock said, he hadn't been shooting like he was in previous years. And Cameron Payne is like the real like Denver Levin, so I'm not even trying to hear like if he can play or not. I guess you'll have to deal with that unless they waive him or something. Flocky, you let me know how he plays because I don't have any faith in him. He has potential. He has that hope. He has that sliver of hope, but I just don't think it's there with Cameron. So we'll end up seeing. But as far as this trade, Thunder definitely won with this one.
True.
Todd Gibson alone made them the winners.
Yep. Yeah,
because he's gonna help.
I mean, just look at it on paper. I mean, they got a starter. And they're one of the best bench players from the Bulls for nothing. These are the last three names on the roster for the Thunder. They got rid of it. So this was a great trade for the Thunder, no doubt.
Then they sent a second-round pick for next season, after next season over there, too. Like, basically gave up nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, that's literally what it was. The players that were probably going to be waived or bought out. So
Morrow may or may not still go to Laverne, probably might be on that. I don't know, man. At this point, does it really matter? Bulls suck right now.
For a fruit roll up in the pack of Starburst.
God damn.
We'll talk about the next one, even though we don't even need to talk about this trade, but I guess because it's the Lakers, go for it.
I mean, honestly, it's all right. So the Rockets. All right, so the Rockets ended up trading for Tyler Ennis from the Lakers over for Marcelo Huertas, and I was joking. I was joking with Siggy. I was joking with Siggy and everything like that on Twitter. But honestly, I mean, I know who the person is because he went to Syracuse, but he really does nothing for the Lakers at all. Like absolutely nothing.
Once again, it's all about positioning yourself to do good at the end of the season.
Look. I understand, you're positioning yourself to do good at the end of the season. Absolutely. But still, this was still a nothing trade for us as of right now. Business-wise, yeah, this is probably a good move for us. And they probably
I don't even see business-wise. I think both these players for both the teams, these are guys that log maybe 2 minutes at the most, and that's whenever the games are blown out and they decide, hey, rest everybody. Here you go out there.
Yeah, they basically roster fillers, yo.
Yeah, I mean that's really what they are. It's like somebody maybe Tyler Ennis isn't going to get waived or something like that at the end of the season. I don't know. I don't see him on the Lakers for that long, to be honest with you. I don't. But you never know with this team and what they have going on with Magic now. But we'll talk about that later. Like we'll see. I mean, do y'all even care about this? I highly doubt it.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Let's move on to the next one. Thank you.
All right. So the Raptors ended up trading Jared Sullinger to the Suns for PJ Tucker. Y'all care about this? I really don't give a fuck.
That's a great trade for the Raptors. I mean,
I care about PJ Tucker because I got him in fantasy.
Yeah, PJ Tucker.
I ain't even gonna lie, fam.
Hey, at least he kept it honest though.
This dude.
PJ Tucker has been doing really good, so for the Raptors, it's a good trade. I mean, Son hasn't done anything ever since he's left Boston. So
he's been hurt all year.
He's been hurt. So that's the main reason.
Still, even when he wasn't hurt, he's been trash.
Overweight, out of shape.
Damn.
Every season with him, man. I mean, that's why I would never draft a guy. He's the second coming of Big Baby Davis, yo. He is the second coming of Big Baby Davis. All that potential. Oh, he's agile for a big guy. He can move. He's quick light on his feet. And then when he gets to training camp, he's 30 pounds overweight. He's always injured. And where's Big Baby Davis now? Ain't he doing interviews calling Doc Rivers overrated and stuff now? He's 31 years old and out the league. I'm just saying, bro. I ain't saying nothing, but I'm just saying.
This is another tank trade. This is the Suns tanking.
Yep.
Yeah, because they were done too. They've been dealing with injuries all this time, and PJ Tucker off the bench has been producing surprisingly. I don't even remember.
He's a good defensive player.
PJ Tucker, yeah, he's a great defensive player, and he's been getting double doubles. So Raptors definitely won with the trade, no doubt.
True. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So the Mavs ended up waiving Darren Williams, and it looks like the Pelicans are going to waive Terrence Jones. I mean, with the Mavs waiving Darren Williams, I believe now the Cavs are going to end up picking him up if he passes everything for physicals and all that. It's a good pickup for the Cavs, maybe. But what do you guys think?
It's what they wanted.
That's the rumor, is that he's going to clear waivers and the Cavs are going to sign him. The Cavs have been talking about wanting a playmaker, quote unquote, in the bench, point guard. Rondo was the other hot rumor, but now that Williams is actually on the wire, it looks like for sure the Cavs are going to get him.
Yep, that's exactly what they wanted. They were banking on the Bulls buying out Rondo, which I think what he wanted. He wanted them to buy him out, but they didn't. They were trying to trade him, but they couldn't. So I mean, this is the next best thing for Cleveland. It was also talks about what's the name, Bogut being traded. We mentioned that earlier, in some way somehow, somehow him getting on Cleveland as well, but that didn't happen. So I mean, it's what they wanted. It's what they wanted. And with Terrence Jones, I can think of at least a half dozen teams that'll go out and get him, because he was actually balling this season before he got hurt for the Pelicans.
Yeah, but when you get Boogie,
yep,
you don't need
make room.
So that makes sense for them. Siggy was saying before, he didn't say it now, but I felt like the Mavs should have probably tried to get something for Darren Williams. I feel like even though he's been injury prone this year, he's still a liable asset. So for the Mavs to just waive him, that's crazy. But hey, if it makes sense, if they just trying to take it up and they feel like they ain't need anything for him because y'all believe in Yogi and Seth Curry now, hey, go for it.
See what happened once he went to Brooklyn. It all went downhill. Every time once you go to Brooklyn, it's over, baby.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, I loved him on the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz had a squad back
That's
then.
the basketball players' graveyard when you go to Brooklyn, baby. That's the graveyard. If you're an NBA player, don't go to Brooklyn. Take the A train.
The Kings.
All right,
like the Nets on the East and the Kings on the West.
All right, so we can finally talk about what I really wanted to talk about outside of the rest of this bullshit. So Magic Johnson ends up replacing Jim Buss, thank God, as the president of basketball operations. Now, first of all, I would like to say that Magic Johnson had voiced his opinion about what he thought about Jim Buss, and even though he was grateful for the family and everything and what they've done for the Lakers' legacy, he had already felt that Jim Buss should take a seat a while ago. So this is honestly long overdue, in my opinion. I believe that with Magic Johnson being a part of the president for the front office, I think this is going to be a good thing business-wise, and also is going to give some more appeal for players to come to the Los Angeles Lakers. But it's going to be unfortunately another year of rebuilding phase. This is year 4 so far of the rebuilding phase. Obviously, we missed Kobe Bryant for sure, but that gave us a lot of money to do what we need to do, and hopefully this will be the step in the right direction. Now, I just mentioned Kobe. Now, Magic Johnson has said this numerous times. One of the first things he wants to do if he becomes president of operations for the Los Angeles Lakers organization is bring Kobe back. I'm hoping this happens. I think that it would be great for the Lakers, but there's nothing official yet. But I would love to see Kobe come back and be some type of advisor and anything along the lines. And since we're talking about the Lakers too, Rob Pelinka is going to be the new GM. But before he can actually become the GM, he has to relinquish all of his because he's an agent currently for James Harden. He was representing Kobe as well too. He actually has to relinquish all of that before he can actually be signed as the GM. So
hey, first of all, I just want to say before the comment section destroys us, they replaced as VP of basketball operations because Genie's still the president. Genie Buss is still the president.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I started going on a rant. You're right. And speaking of Genie Buss, she even said it was hard to actually fire her brother. But at the same time,
should have been done sooner.
It should have exactly. And that's why I mentioned it. She waited too long, and she admitted that and apologized to the Lakers organization. And I mean, we all knew it. Magic knew it, and everything. Anytime they would ask, "Hey, Magic, you gonna come back to the Lakers organization?" He said that they need to get rid of Jim Buss. And I mean, hey, thanks for everything you did for us early on. We're hurting right now, bro. We got to make a business executive decision.
He's not gonna be hurting. He's still part of the owner family, so he's part
of the owner family.
His pocket ain't got no lighter from it. I don't feel.
Yeah,
I'm
not honestly think
no.
Buss, if Jim Buss really wanted to, he probably could. If Magic's yaps a little bit too much, they'd be like, "Hey, look, let's just calm down. I'm still part owner of this team."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm never saying that his pockets were ever gonna feel lighter because of this. He's still getting money because of it, absolutely. And I said this before Magic even got put in and everything like that. I kind of felt like how Raiders fans and people who've been long fans of the Raiders felt with Al Davis, and how they just felt like him still being there was actually hurting the team. Of course, they were appreciative of everything that he did for them and everything. And unfortunately, he passed on. And I didn't want that for Jim Buss. I just want him to get the fuck out of the front office and replace the front office. And now that we've done that, I really am hoping that it's a step in the right direction with Magic. I mean, I saw it on Twitter. I saw everybody bring up old tweets, and I'm gonna read some of them from 2014. No, stop. Let me just read this one. So with Magic Johnson, he talked about Phil Jackson. He said, great move by Phil Jackson. James Dolan and Steve Mills hiring Derek Fisher as the new head coach for the New York Knicks. Now, you know how some people are on Twitter, and immediately after they found out that Magic Johnson was hired, they reverted back to Twitter and they're going to slander him or whatever. I still think he's a good pick for us.
You know what that was going to turn into. Like, as soon as you that, at this point, does it really matter? I mean, it's Magic Johnson. I feel like he did get the job off of his name. Dan Labatard said some stuff saying that he only got the job because of his name and his charm.
Because he's charming.
But to counter that, I will say this: LaMarcus Aldridge walked out on a meeting with the Lakers before he signed with the Spurs. So, I mean, what does that tell you? How many big name free agents have the Lakers signed in the past 5 years? When I talk about the trade they made for Dwight Howard.
No, you're right. 0.
Exactly.
You're right.
So, Magic Johnson is going to at least get people to come and sit at the table with him. Somebody's going to sit down because it's Magic Johnson, because he's so passionate about the game. Jim Buss, he didn't know what he was doing. He really didn't.
No. He
didn't know what he was doing. And to be honest with you, his sister don't really know what the hell she doing either. You know what I mean? Because if she knew better, she would have known not to put him there in the first place. Or even if she seen it wasn't working 3 years ago, she would have got rid of him then.
So it was a lot easier to be successful whenever you have Shaq and Kobe all these years.
Absolutely.
It's a lot. Exactly. It's a lot easier. Like, it's better to be lucky than good. You know what I mean? So they just happen to have places already there. And once that stuff happened, when it came time where they had to actually rebuild that franchise, when Daddy wasn't there no more to do it for them, what happened? They fell flat. Nobody wanted to play there anymore. And I'm not going to say that Kobe didn't play a part in that, because he did. I mean, Kobe played a part in that too. Some players didn't want to come and play with him. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's just the truth. And Magic. I mean, do you believe in Magic? I was making a joke earlier saying, "Do you believe in Magic?" I mean, I kind of do, but I mean, you still got to think about it. Magic Johnson, wasn't he a coach? Wasn't he coaching the Lakers for and he only lasted 16 games?
He flopped. You
know what I mean?
He flopped.
So, did Magic have a talk show or some shit before? And that,
let's be honest.
So everything that Magic touches don't instantly mean it's gonna turn into Showtime. So let's not make it seem like, for Lakers fans, he go do this, he go do this. I mean, you still got to get these players here. I mean,
you're right.
He seems like his intentions are good, but this is one of those, let's just wait and see. This shit is not gonna happen overnight.
I'll tell you, Ace Flock. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Ace Flock hit it in the head right here. He is just the face. He got a cush job as vice president of basketball operations, because the real guy that's going to be doing the moves is going to be this Pelinka guy, right? Yep. Rob, he's the GM.
Yeah, he's the GM, so he's really going to be the moves.
So Magic is just the guy that's going to be the name that, hey, we get to shake your hand, welcome to Los Angeles, because he's really not going to do anything.
Right, he's going to be the greeter. He's going to be greedy.
I mean, exactly. Like I said, I'm not looking at it just as a fan and stuff. I'm kind of looking at it as how would you want to lead an organization, how you want to make an organization better. And like Flock did say, and this is a very good point, not necessarily Magic Johnson is going to be doing everything, because he's not. But the fact that he is there, he'll definitely get the credit. But the fact that he's there, it does open up a little bit more opportunity and appeal for people to at least sit down. And at the end of the day, as of right now, Lakers organization, we need results. Absolutely.
I know exactly how you feel, because I feel the same way with Phil Jackson and the Knicks. So we didn't have anything. We're in a tank. We have Melo. We traded the moon for him, and the free agents weren't coming either, though we had Melo. Luckily, it was funny at first, Phil Jackson, that name, same thing, Laker dynasty, Bulls dynasty,
exactly.
So, I'm expecting big names coming over. It hasn't happened yet, and don't get me wrong, it's only been 2 years, whatever. But the pick that he did make, Porzingis, might actually be the guy that might bring people over. So and that was all Phil Jackson, because I laughed at that pick whenever he made it. So it turned out to be good, the unicorn, but at first I was well, this guy lost his mind. So
like I said, we'll see.
It gives you hope, and I understand that
it gives us hope. And one thing about Magic that I do appreciate, like Flock said, there are a lot of things that he's done that just doesn't turn to gold, and he's flopped at. Yeah, he was a coach, and he tried it out, and it didn't work for him. But I do feel I'm looking at this in a positive direction, no pun intended. And I just really think that this is going to be a good move for the Laker organization, and it's going to take time. But we're in the 4th year of rebuilding. We need results. Like at the end of the day, we do. And I'm looking to see what type of opportunities with Magic being there with the Lakers organization, because Magic has talked a lot throughout the years about being part and talking about Jim Buss and everything like that, like giving his respect to him, but at the same time saying that he needs to step down. Now that this has happened, all right, you've talked the talk. Now let's see, can you actually prove that you can actually be an asset to the Lakers organization, or are you going to prove to just be another flop and be another legend that said they could do something to end up not doing it? So we'll see. By
the way, I know we're still talking about Lakers stuff like that, but I just want to say that the game is over with the Rockets and the Pelicans. Rockets destroyed the Pelicans, and guess who outscored everybody on the Rockets side? Lou Williams, 27 points in his Rockets debut off the bench, the same amount of points as DeMarcus Cousins for the Pelicans.
Oh man, you can't script that, but that's good for Lou Will, man. I'm happy for him. It sucked that he left and we traded him, but JG. Before we finish, I was gonna say JG, go ahead, bro, because I know you got something smart to say. Go ahead, bro.
Man, Magic and Genie Bus was plotting on my nigga Jim, though. I'm just saying, man.
Bro, that shit was out. That shit was out.
They got a little bus boy on out of there, didn't they?
Nah, but on a serious note, we all knew that nigga two would be made. Again, I'm not a Lakers fan, but I pay attention. I know what's up. They've been screaming for Jim Bus's head for the longest, so it finally happened. It's a done deal. It is what it is. I just hope that Magic Johnson does not have this whole idea of tanking forever. Like at some point in time,
knowing him, he won't.
Yeah, I really
because he's been extra critical on the Lakers and the moves they made on Twitter. So if he does, they're gonna destroy him. They're gonna destroy him like all them old tweets you was bringing. That's why I was like, stop, because I was actually gonna bring that up and say he was critical about them, and when it doesn't work on his end, they're gonna go at his head. You know this.
Absolutely.
Sure. But I think he's gonna be the exact opposite of Phil Jackson. That's the point. Another point I tried to make, but I was trying not to be long-winded. But he's gonna be the polar opposite of what Phil Jackson does. He's not gonna mind talking to people, talking to the press and stuff like that. He's not gonna send somebody to speak for him or do sub tweets about somebody and stuff like that. That's why I don't like That's why I don't like Phil Jackson, because he's a dickhead when it comes to stuff like that. Like instead of just addressing it, he rather just do all this encrypted shit. He one of them dudes that's too smart for their own good, or got to be the smartest guy in the room. But when you listen to him talk, he just says a bunch of dumb shit, a bunch of words with 4 syllables or more to try to sound smart. That's Phil Jackson right now. So.
Right.
Hopefully, Magic is a lot more transparent. So that's why I'm rooting for Magic Johnson to succeed, because I like Magic, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it is. Let this be one of the last years that he talks about tanking. We'll see what ends up happening during the draft, because at this point, again, there's no point in trying to do anything else but to try to get the top 3 picks. So. It is what it
is.
But,
we need to get back into playoff contending. Like we haven't been in the playoffs. I believe this will be our third year not in the playoffs.
Oh, it's so sad, isn't it?
Seriously though. Right. Yeah, I mean, but we need to be back. We need to be playoff contenders. No one's gonna say the next season we're gonna be a championship team, nothing like that. But we need to get back into the playoffs and move forward. We gotta take steps. So I'm looking forward to that.
Y'all got humbled, man. I'm so glad that y'all got humbled. It took
some Lakers fans can be annoying.
Look. Yep. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Some Lakers fans can be annoying, and it's just like Yankee fans. Like you can't tell them.
Raiders fans too.
Hey, don't talk about Yankee.
Yeah, come on now, keep it real, Siggy. Like y'all been talking about rings and championship rings and everything.
Hey, that's because we got 20.
It's like such a big gap.
Hey, I'm a Red Sox fan, so it's all good.
But just like I'm saying, but the thing is, though, some Laker fans are now humble and everything like that. We'll see. I mean, I can't wait to see what Magic does for the team, and I think he'll put us in the right direction. But we all got to think. Just got to think forward. But before we end everything, I wanted to mention this. Now, what happened with Jimmy Butler?
Hold on. These are the trades that didn't happen. I'm glad you did it without me having to say nothing. Cool. There we go.
Like, what happened with that? Let's talk about Boston not getting a damn thing. Like, what's up? Like, we thought that somebody was going over there. So, what's up, Flop?
All right. The trades that did not happen. I'll start with Boston. Boston did not make any moves. Now they were actually in talks trying to get DeMarcus Cousins at one point. They'll lie to you if they want, but they wanted him too at one point. They wanted him. They wanted Jimmy Butler. They wanted Carmelo Anthony. Despite how much they said they didn't, it was just what New York probably wanted in return. And the same thing with what's his name, Paul George. Now, if you're Boston, you're not gonna break up the nucleus of your team. You are the number 2 seed in the East. Why would you break up the nucleus of your team to get that one player when you can get him in free agency? You know what I mean?
Unless it was somebody to replace. That's why Crowder was a good name.
Crowder was good to get rid of. Crowder and maybe Marcus Smart or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? You could do that for Jimmy Butler. But the thing was, the Bulls wanted that pick that we were talking about earlier from New Jersey. New Jersey dumbasses didn't protect that pick. So regardless if it's a number 20 pick or the number 1 pick, Boston gets that pick regardless. So Boston can end up in the Eastern Conference Finals with the second best record in the East and still get a top 3 pick in the draft. So that pick will be worth a lot more once they know what pick it is, and then they can make a draft day trade. You get what I'm saying? They can make a draft day trade.
But then again, if they can get Butler now for Crowder and that pick,
why do it now?
Why not do it?
Why do it now? Why do it now? When the price, because the price is gonna go up. You're gonna have more teams trying to come after that pick, and you may be able to get something better. You may be able to get a better pick. I mean, a better player.
A better question would be: do you think that Butler would have put them over the top to beat the Cavaliers? I guess it comes out of that.
I think he's good. He's probably good, if not better, defensively than Crowder. He's definitely a better offensive player. Butler's a dog. Don't get me wrong, but he does have an ego, and Dad and him, he didn't play that shit with Thibodeau because Thibodeau didn't play that. But yeah, he tried. He be serving Hoiberg, so he don't even listen to that guy. So I mean, you gotta put that into consideration. I just feel like you wait it out, because if they were like the 6th seed or 7th seed in the East, they probably would have pulled the trigger on that. But if you're the 2 seed, you wait and see, because you don't know what that pick is yet. So once you know it's the 3rd pick or it's the 2nd pick or it's the 1st pick, you can command more out of them.
But then what happens if it winds up being the 4th pick? Then all of a sudden you might not get
that. This draft is so deep.
It is deep, yeah.
This draft is so deep.
I think the potential for it being number 1
through 6 is not a bad choice at all in this upcoming draft.
There's so much potential. So
So I just think that they missed out on a chance to put themselves over the top.
I wouldn't. Do you want to? But would you do that though? Would you give up your starting small forward, even though it'd be considered an upgrade at small forward getting him, but then you giving up maybe a backup point guard, your backup point guard as well. You know what I mean, to get that. And he probably, I don't know if you had to give up Amir Johnson or somebody too to make, because you got to do that stuff dollar for dollar if both teams are over the salary cap. So I mean, trades are a hard thing to pull off if both one or both teams are over the salary cap, because you got to match it dollar for dollar. Unless one team has, a bunch of cap space. Yeah,
that's why I'm assuming, as far as the Butler guy, because I think that was the one that made the most sense. It was talked about the longest. I think that it would have been Crowder, Smart, and their pick, not the Nets pick for Rondo. There was some rumbling about Rondo maybe, because the Bulls, they don't need him, but to make the salary match with Butler and all that stuff, that could have made more sense.
Boston ain't taking Rondo back.
I mean, why not?
Bro, why? What?
Yes, why not? If I look, they know Rondo. Okay, there's an organization.
That's why they got rid of him, because they know him.
It would have made sense to take that deal without giving up the Nets pick. It would have made sense to have him as a backup point guard, not the starting, obviously, because obviously Isaiah Thomas is the man. But for him to come off the bench and lead the team, and then you still get Butler to replace Crowder, that would have been a great move.
But Rondo is making $8 million. Butler is making like 20.
No, I don't think he has a big contract yet, does he?
Is it 18 or 20 he making this season?
Then you're right. There was no money.
Yeah, you got to think about that's too much. That's too much cap. That's why I said you got to match that up. That's why I said Amir Johnson would have to be in there because he's making $12 million. Crowder's probably making about $6 million. So
probably Jerk Bow would have been probably with that trade.
So you would have had. That's why I said you would have had to add too many pieces. That's why I said you wait until after the season is over with, because then you have guys that's off the salary, off the books, and you can play. You can be a little more flexible as far as like signing people and making trades. That's why.
Right, but I want to say this real quick. There's no way in hell that Rondo's going back to the Celtics, man. I mean, come on. Like I said before,
he's going to go back there. I'm saying that if they would have taken, if that would have been the Bulls saying, hey, look, well, we want to get rid of Rondo also, the Celtics could have taken him back.
I don't think they would have taken him back just for the fact that, like, he's not a team player, bro. He ruins locker rooms, fam. He's
not going to be the starter, though. He's just going to be on the bench.
That's going to make him even worse.
No, wait, what? How does it make it worse? The Celtics aren't going to be worse. They're the second best team.
No. I'm not saying that the Celtics would be worse. I'm just saying it would make his attitude worse, and it would bring team morale down.
You would have had the hey, look, he's back. Hey, we appreciate. The fans would have been behind Rondo in Boston.
What are we doing, guys? We're supposed to agree with everything.
I'm just saying, it's kind of like a perfect example is LeBron. Every fan burned his jersey when he left, and then when he came back, they loved him again.
Bro,
yeah, because you
compare LeBron to Rondo, though. Siggy, come on,
horrible
dog.
Comparison, bro. Come on,
it's not a horrible comparison. All right, you're saying because
it is.
All right, another example is KG going back to Minnesota. They all love
but he got traded though.
Yeah,
KG gave them dudes like what 12 seasons, 11 to 12 seasons, and they only went.
Fans hate Rondo. You know, if Rondo
I'm not saying the fans. It's not about the fans. It's the organization.
It's that he's playing with.
It's the organization. It's the organization. We're not saying nothing about the fans.
But if they could have gotten Rondo back, if that was I'm not saying that it was going to happen. I'm saying if that was what the Bulls wanted to get rid of, the Celtics would have been a team that would gladly take him back, in my opinion. To be a backup point guard.
I would have said that before Isaiah Thomas got there, but you don't want him there. Nah, I don't see that happening. But
well, I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's already over with.
Yeah, I don't see Rondo ever going back to Boston.
I can see him retiring in Boston.
I'm not gonna say it won't happen, but I just can't see it happen. Not during this run. When the Celtics start to suck again or whatever, then maybe. But right now, nah. Not messing up that team. And Danny Ainge is real like protective of that team and the chemistry that team has. And I'm almost certain that's why he didn't pull the trigger on Butler. So
the Paul George thing wasn't making any sense because he was throwing out the rumors of the Lakers. So to give up so much just for a rental player, that's not
gonna happen. That's why a lot of people don't get that. Like, this dude can essentially walk at the end of the season and go to LA, and you gave up all this stuff. You gave up all this stuff to the Pacers. Pacers got your pick, Pacers got your players, and you don't have that player that you got from the Pacers. And this guy's out there in LA in La La Land. So that's why I said you wait until after the season. If you're a contending team, you don't make that type of deal. You don't break up your team like that. Only a fool would do that.
No, that's why the only trade that would have made sense for the Celtics was Butler, because Crowder, Butler, a pick would have been enough for both sides.
Yeah, I mean they definitely would have needed more than just Crowder. That pick would have probably said, okay, well we'll live with that. But I don't know. Another trade that didn't happen that I honestly thought was more likely to happen than none was Ricky Rubio for Derrick Rose. And that was supposed to be a straight up trade, but they said they were ready for it. The Knicks was ready to make it happen, but Minnesota balked. They got cold feet.
Oh man,
damn, I'm actually glad. I'm glad because one, does Rubio have years left or no?
Yeah, he got 3 seasons. Got 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm glad.
JG.
Because Rose is done after this year, so
we ain't let JG talk, yo.
Oh, JG, go for it.
Hey, JJ. I was going. I was just quiet. Before we get to this, I just have a quick question. As a fan, Fly, would you feel happy even seeing Jimmy Butler go, or do you want to see the Bulls like continue to try to work around him?
I mean, I would have loved to see the Bulls just go through the rebuilding process without, the way they should have done it. Not signing Rajon Rondo, not signing Dwayne Wade, that, and getting rid of Mirotic, of course. So, I mean, I would have loved that. That, to me, would have told me that, okay, we rebuilding, but then you say you're trying to rebuild, you're trying to get younger, you're trying to do that, but then you sign older players. Like, your audio ain't matching your visual, fam. So, that's why I can't stand Gar Forman and John Paxson. And then they brought in this coach. You know what I mean? Like, every college coach can't coach the pros. Like, I know that's your boy or whatever, the Iowa State clique or whatever, and, that's their boy and all, but this coach ain't the coach for them. I mean, look at what Thibodeau did for those seasons Derrick Rose was hurt. I mean, Thibodeau only had Derrick Rose healthy for one full season. So, well, maybe two. I take that back, 2 full seasons. Then he got injured in the playoffs in that second season he was there. And they were the number 1 seed both years. They had the best record in the league both years. So, he was the master of doing the most with the least. I mean, he got guys like Aaron Brooks and DJ Augustine and Nate Roberts. He got them guys paid because them guys just stepped up and filled in. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that if you're gonna do it right. If that's what you got to do, just do the shit right. I don't want to see Butler lead. Don't get me wrong, but if that's what you got to do to essentially blow a team up, like what I said earlier when they did the Taj Gibson shit in McDermott, I'm like, if you're going to get rid of them, you might as well get rid of damn near everybody.
Well, I mean, all right, so would you have been happy with the Nets, potential number 1?
Hell yeah. I mean, Jimmy Butler is an all-star. So, I mean, you don't know what that player is going to be. I mean, you really don't. You don't know what. But we
know that it's a deep class, so there's the odds are in your favor that you can get an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to rebuild, then I say, yeah, go ahead and pull the trigger on it, do it. But if you just making a trade just for the sake of making a trade, then I say no, don't do it. But don't. I wouldn't just make a trade just for the sake of making a trade. If it's a reason behind it.
If they give up on Taj Gibson, since you're out there in Chicago, why is it that all these other teams like Darren Williams got, waived, bought out, etc.? Why aren't they doing that for guys like
I thought they would do that for Rondo.
Like Rondo or
because the Bulls just like that. I haven't seen the Bulls just let a guy walk since Carlos Boozer. And that was because they had that amnesty clause. When they could, take him off the book. They could do it I mean, we all saw that happening because he wasn't doing shit. He was overpaid. He was like a third string option when that year when LeBron and Bosh and Wade all them went. They went to Miami, so he was like last resort. So I don't know, and that's a reason why a lot of big name free agents don't want to come here because of that front office, and they not loyal to their players. Look at what they did to Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and shit like that. So come on.
Very interesting. No, but just to go back real quick to the Knicks, I'm glad they didn't make the trade because I'd rather see Rose's contract expire and have the salary cap space to rebuild.
That's like if you're trying to get the triangle offense, your point guard should be able to shoot. If you run a triangle, and Ricky Rubio can't.
Defense, he's getting better, but he's not a Rose. And
not at all.
I mean, but the Knicks are the point now where
they did right though by not making that move.
They have some pieces to build around. Obviously, Porzingis and Hernan Gomez.
That could have been a good combo though with Porzingis and Rubio. Rubio would have dished off a few good patches.
That's the only plus is the fact that you got a point guard that can that's a pass first point guard. We all know Rose gonna dribble for 6-7 seconds and then go bounce left, bounce right, drive to the lane. You know what I mean? So that's what he does. And you got him and Carmelo. They command the ball so much, man. They command the ball so much. I mean, that dude's really never gonna have a chance to flourish without somebody that can come out there. Now you put a Rondo with him and Melo, they'll be good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think. I think what's going to happen is I think they're going to let Rose walk and they're going to keep Jennings to be running that point.
I mean, his season is over. I mean, he only signed a 1-year deal.
No, so I know, but I think that's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna go ahead with that extra money. They're gonna try to fit in because they'll have the right to match on him, right? So I think Jennings would be the guy that they'll keep.
All right, what's Jay?
What are we talking about? Still, Ricky Rubio, Derrick Rose?
Yeah, he's like, let me talk about.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I feel like Ricky Rubio is still a better fit in Minnesota, in my opinion. Because, like I said, he is coming into form. Yeah, it went great because he could not shoot worth a damn, but he is getting into form and he's in the assist machine right now. So I do like that about him. But I don't know. I just don't feel like this trade really made sense. So I'm glad that they didn't go through with it.
And any other trade, any trade revolving Carmelo Anthony that didn't happen, I mean, I said this last time that it wouldn't happen. That dude is not gonna leave New York unless you was putting him on the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was not going anywhere to any place but New York. I'm just saying, he's not going.
The only other major rumor trade in the NBA was for what's his name. We touched up on Paul George a little bit, but we didn't really talk about all the teams.
Yeah, the Lakers.
Yeah. Boston. Who else? There was another one.
But if you're the Lakers, you just wait. You wait it out. That's why I say it's just like a lot of these teams that didn't make moves. That's the main reason why they didn't do it. Because if you the Lakers or if you the Celtics, like you wait it out. You wait to see. Like this dude probably won't re-sign with Indiana. We can try to get him. We can try to get him. We can try to get him like that. Because Paul George is from California, right?
Yeah. That's his hometown, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense. And like I said, Magic Johnson provides that option to be like, all right, come holler at me. You know what I mean? Mitch Kupchak, not so much. Through. Jim Buzz Boy, not so much.
Hell nah.
So, but that's why I said Magic Johnson. He'll get people to come in at least talk to him and listen to what he has to say. But a lot of trades that didn't happen, man. Winners and losers. Let's get on winners and losers real quick before we wrap this shit up. Winners and losers of this trade deadline.
I still think the Celtics are the biggest losers for not doing anything. I still think they should have got Butler.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Not going after Butler or Paul George. I feel like they should have made at least one move. You had the power in your hands, and you did nothing with it. So I hope that y'all can keep that number 2 spot.
Yeah, I mean,
when it comes to the playoffs,
I say good luck getting beaten 5 games to the Cavaliers, because that's what's gonna happen. So the Celtics are losers.
Absolutely.
The Spurs, I think, are losers for not doing anything either.
They never do anything.
They ain't do anything, fam.
You gonna call them a loser when they consistently don't do nothing.
Bro, stop. No, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I promise you, they're gonna make some big moves.
They're not gonna do anything. The thing is, though, the Rockets made the moves to get past San Antonio. Now it's about Golden State and Houston, in my opinion, because San Antonio, they're relying on Gasol coming back healthy. They should have at least done some of these big man trades. They could have got Noel for nothing.
Shit, they could have got Thiago back.
They could have got Thiago back. They might still get him back. But still, I'm just saying, in the end, if the Mavs can get Noel for nothing, why couldn't the Spurs?
You're right.
Oh, yeah. Another trade that didn't happen. Well, I'll just call them losers. Let JG go. Jay, go ahead. I'll go last.
Okay, all right. Let's see who. I feel like the Raptors actually made some good moves, because even before the trade deadline, you got Serge Ibaka as well. So so that's major for y'all. You let go of Terrence Ross, but I feel like that's a better trade there, definitely. So the Raptors won. I still feel like the Pelicans won. I feel like I gotta put an asterisk on this though, because it all depends on what Boogie ends up doing. Because like they only have a couple months to play with each other, him and Anthony Davis. So we'll see. Today was all right. I mean, even though y'all got your ass whooped, but Boogie still ended up getting his points at the end of the day. So
they combined for 69 points.
Yeah. Fantasy owners, y'all are still good. Y'all are well off. So it looks like so far at least one game. Nothing has changed, to be honest, but y'all still ain't scored enough points because everybody else is at. So again, it all depends on what that contract is looking like in 2018 for Boogie. But I'm gonna say y'all won for now.
True. You want me to go? Fluff, you want to go?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I mean, I agree. The Boston Celtics are definitely the losers here, but not even attempting to go for anybody. And I feel like the pure winners, in my opinion, is the Houston Rockets with Lou Will. I just think they add another person to their arsenal, and it's proven. It was shown in this first game with him as a Rocket that he can light it up. So I think the Houston Rockets are the winners when it comes to this trade.
The Rockets are a scary team now for sure. They did this with this rebuilt, Pelicans team trying to make the playoffs without Harden even doing anything. What do you have?
Still ain't gonna do nothing.
Hey, look. All right, before you get onto the defensive stuff, right? Golden State's defense is horrible also.
Golden State defense has always been good, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, man?
Their
Golden State was number one ranked defense last year.
Their number one ranked defense this year is no way because they're out.
I said last year. I'm not talking about this year.
Okay.
I mean,
they're allowing 105 points a game this year, Golden State. So their defense is pretty bad. San Antonio has a good defense. We're going to talk about defense.
I mean, they're consistent. They're consistent.
Yeah, they're always consistent. That's a given. Yeah, that's a given.
So, but what I'm saying though is the Rockets now can compete with Golden State offensively. They've already been good enough, on their own, and now with Lou Will and that bench being that good, I think they can light it up even more. I just think the Rockets have a chance of beating Golden State. I really do.
And let's keep in mind here because the Rockets had to rebuild again after last season. But low key, does anyone remember that Clippers series? What was that, a year ago? 2 years ago?
They blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. It was terrible, fam. But somehow, some way, they ended up doing it. I don't understand. So, I still can't fully doubt the Rockets in any of these situations. Everybody think they're gonna get spanked, yeah, but I mean. I've seen crazier things happen, but I think if you get 27 points off the bench, oh my lord, yo, that's ridiculous, yo, from one person.
Man,
Lou Will's a fucking beat spread. Okay. Yeah, I agree with Ace. The Rockets won definitely.
All right, my winners is Houston Rockets, Toronto Raptors, Oklahoma City Thunder, Dallas Mavericks, and Washington Wizards. Losers, Chicago Bulls, Sacramento. Oh yeah, and the Pelicans are winners too. Take that back.
Yeah.
Pelicans. The Bulls, Kings, Celtics, Nets. Those are the losers by far.
Well, Nets for sure. They didn't even have to do anything. They would have been the losers.
Right.
They just losers by trade.
They just losing. Period.
Right. So yeah, that's So that's pretty much. That's pretty much all I have as far as the winners and losers of this draft is concerned. So I guess we can do closing statements and we done.
Yeah, facts. Go ahead, Flock. Go ahead. You can get your closing statement out the way.
Bulls, man. Fuck them, yo. That's all I can say. What I want to say is fuck it. It don't even matter, man. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. That's all I say.
Okay, true. Siggy?
I like what Cleveland might be doing with Will when he gets there. Hopefully he gets there. I think Cleveland solidified the East for sure. Boston messed up by not doing anything. Washington would keep it close, but in the end, Washington, Toronto are not going to have to beat Cleveland. In the West, Golden State still the class, but Houston made a statement today, especially. I think they're legit. I think they're gonna get the 2 seed, and they might have a chance of meeting the Warriors in Western Finals. We'll see.
True. JG?
I really hope that with these moves that the Rockets made, that they can dethrone the Warriors. I don't want to see another Warriors Cleveland matchup. I'm sorry. I don't want to see it 3 years in a row. I'm really hoping that.
So you want Cleveland to whoop on Houston instead of Golden State?
Nah, man. I was just about to say that, man. Like, the Celtics did not do anything. I really hope that they can, still end up relying on Isaiah Thomas alone to get them somewhere. But I know that realistically it's not going to happen. I'm hoping that it does, but I know that realistically it's not. So, I mean, that would be fun. I would rather see Cleveland versus Houston. I don't want to see Warriors as shit no more. I don't like them. I hate them.
Please don't let these people in this third world country think they're a real city again.
True. All right,
what it is.
Right. And with my closing statements, all right, I'm gonna need y'all to lay off Magic Johnson, man. Let's just hope that he does well for the Lakers organization, everything like that. Yeah, I can stop talking about him with HIV and everything like that. Like, that shit is ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna lie, some of it was kind of funny too. Like, I seen Charlamagne the Guy talk about y'all doubting Magic, and he went 1-on-1 versus HIV. He's a winner, and y'all need to stop that, fam. That's funny, bro. That shit is so messed up. But I really do hope the Laker organization itself moves forward from this now that Jim Buss is, well, technically he's still not part. He's not part of the organization. He's not making the big decisions. So we'll see. It's going to take time, so don't expect it to happen overnight. But other than that, go Lakers, Laker gang. Let's get it. Swaggy P, let's go.
Swaggy P.
Anything else? Y'all want to say anything else? No.
That's
all right. Well, all right, y'all. Thanks, sir. All right, y'all. Well, that's another triple threat. We out.
Deuces.
Bye.